I flung open my office door. Sophia was sitting at her desk, typing away. For the 90th time, I mentally chastised myself for going to the bar again last night. Why hadn't I just stayed away? Not that I knew for sure she'd be there, but there was a risk. It was like I could feel the iron walls I'd built crumble under my fingers, and I was powerless to stop it. Of course, Sophia was attractive. Beautiful, actually. But I'd seen beautiful women before, and it hadn't had me breaking my rules, wanting to do inappropriate things. Over the last decade, I'd developed the self-control of a bloody Jedi master. So what was it about Sophia? The one and only time the circles of my personal and professional life had overlapped had ended in disaster. I'd been sacked by the woman I was dating because she didn't like that I'd ended our relationship. Being a junior lawyer fired for sexual harassment, even back then, meant I was toxic. My legal career had been ruined before it had had a chance to get going. For months I lost all self-control. I drank too much, had a lot of casual sex, made some shockingly bad decisions. I'd fallen down and was sure I'd never get up again. I thought my life was over. It was only when Gabriel shoved a copy of Verity Ink under the door that I came to my senses. I knew I had to make something out of my life so I could rescue that magazine from the gutter. "Can I help you with anything?" Sophia said, jolting me out of my memories. "Still no word," I barked, irritated that she had the ability to dilute my focus, even with her back to me. I knew the answer. I'd been tapping my fingers on my desk for the last 6 hours, waiting for Good to return my call. I'd have heard Sophia's phone ring, but it had been deadly silent for the last 6 hours. "Sorry," she said, glancing up at me and back down as if I might bite. If only she knew how much I wanted to sink my teeth into her.
I'd be lying to myself if I said I wasn't sitting at the bar at Noble Rot, hoping Andrew, or rather James, was going to walk through that door, sit down next to me, and tell me again how attractive he thought I was. How attractive exactly? Very. Never before had 4 letters sent so many tingles down my spine. Getting to read Joanna's Andrew manual this afternoon had been enlightening and intriguing. It confirmed that he didn't like to be disturbed before noon, but didn't say why. It noted that he didn't take cars in London, but preferred to walk or take public transport. It detailed lots of things I already knew, and plenty of things I didn't, like airline preferences, or when he liked things in hard copy versus when he liked email. It would have been a revelation when I first started, and it was still going to be useful, but it didn't tell me any of the stuff I really wanted to know. It didn't tell me why the barman called him James. It didn't say why he lost it when he got a piece of personal mail at the office. It didn't reveal why the man at the bar seemed so different to the man in the office. He wouldn't come here again. Last night, after he'd given me the best compliment I'd ever had in my life, he'd rushed off like he'd made a huge mistake. Sure, I'd had guys say more gushing things. A few had even dropped the L-bomb. But there was something about Andrew telling me I was very attractive. He didn't say what he didn't mean, or waste words on things that weren't necessary. Last night, it had felt like he had to tell me what he thought, and he thought I was very attractive. I couldn't be too happy about James's compliment. Today in the office, it was like it had never happened. Like James and Andrew were really, truly 2 different people, and I was living in that Reese Witherspoon rom-com that hadn't been made but definitely should have been. "A glass of Barolo," I said to Tony as I slid onto my now usual stool. "Coming right up," he said. As he slid my glass across the bar, the bell on the door chimed. I didn't have to look around to know he was here. I could just tell. Andrew. James.
I flung open my office door. Sophia was sitting at her desk, typing away. For the 90th time, I mentally chastised myself for going to the bar again last night. Why hadn't I just stayed away? Not that I knew for sure she'd be there, but there was a risk. It was like I could feel the iron walls I'd built crumble under my fingers, and I was powerless to stop it. Of course, Sophia was attractive. Beautiful, actually. But I'd seen beautiful